Well, let's get started. For those who are still joining us, we're recording the session, and this will be a backup for you as well if you feel that I went too fast or you didn't understand me at any point, so that you can look at the recording later. Today we're going to be having a 2-hour session, and I'll be outlining the structure of the course and what you can expect from it. Okay, so my name is Andrew Watson. What can I say about myself? Well, I'm from Manchester in the UK originally, but I became a Mexican citizen in 2019. Here's my proof, my INE card. And I live permanently in Mexico City with my wife, Anna, who's also an IH teacher, like you guys. We have a 18-year-old son, a dog and a cat. I've done a variety of jobs in the English language field, including teacher, academic coordinator, teacher trainer, materials designer, and examiner. I think that's why they partly chose me to do this course, because I'm examiner. Since 1993, when I took an initial teaching English qualification in London, from then, I went off to take my first teaching job in Seoul, South Korea, and later got a Delta and a master's in applied linguistics. So that's my master's in education there. Yeah. So here's today's menu. We'll have a getting to know you, just to get us warmed up. We'll look at the course objectives, how the work will progress through the course, which will take until February. Expectations from your perspective and our perspective. We'll have some reflection on who are your learners. Are there any differences among your learners? What sort of learning styles do they have and preferences? What their needs might be. We're going to try and make this as interactive as possible, so you'll be talking to each other about your learners. There's going to be a little self-diagnosis on materials and resources, how we can help students progress and learn to learn as they take their IELTS exam preparation course. And we'll look at some prep for the exam in general terms. And we'll set ourselves up for the next session, which is going to be on reading skills. All right. Any questions so far? So how are you feeling about training students to do IELTS? You happy about that? Do you already have some experience? So I'd like you to work in groups of 3 and tell each other how you're feeling about training your learners for Cambridge exams, whether it's maybe you've only had experience with cat or pet, but maybe you're wanting to expand into other areas. Okay. I'm going to give you like literally 3 minutes in groups of 3 in breakout rooms to answer these statements here. Okay. I'll put this in the chat because as soon as I put you into the breakout rooms, we'll lose this. Yeah. There we go. Just taking a screenshot of this, so I'll put it to the chat. There we go. Here we are. So something you love about training your learners for Cambridge exams, something you see as indispensable. Indispensable means we can't get rid of it, right? So it's something essential when planning a class. Something you are amazed by when training your learners. All right. Now, put you into groups then. Count rooms. Automatically. 3 minutes. Okay, you could be working with anyone. All right, so I think it would be a good idea to quickly introduce each other. So for that reason, maybe I'll give you 5 minutes, yeah? So you can say which part of Mexico you're from. And then once you've told each other, then you can tell them about your feelings about Cambridge exams. Let's begin.
Okay.
Okay, well, some of you spent the first 5 minutes just asking each other where you were from, which is okay. But remember the task was to uh, say something you love about about training your learners for Cambridge exams, something indispensable when planning a class, and something you're amazed by when training your learners. So anything interesting you heard from your partners so far? Don't worry, David. Your internet's not working great, so we know what situations people have with their tech. Um, any response to the first statement? Any volunteers? Something you love about training your learners for a Cambridge exams?
Well, in our group, I think we all agreed in the fact that how the students developed their abilities while preparing with the mock
Uh,
test, and
uh-huh.
also how they start to take serious this training because they realize how important the exam is for them.
Great. Yeah. Thank you, Cynthia. Anything that's indispensable or something you can't do without when you're planning a class for an exams class?
Well, under my personal point of view, the sequence and scope of the program, it's really important.
Totally, yeah. Okay. Something you're amazed by when training your learners?
Hello, everyone. This is Vera. We were chatting about this part, like something that is amazing for us is to realize that our students, when you are training them, they are like a more self-awareness and they feel like capable to reach something that they didn't realize that they can reach. So that's amazingly great to see that they can discover their capacity, and to overcome the obstacles that they have for reaching what they thought they didn't, as reading or no means I can know like writing like a 250 words on suddenly
Sure.
they have more than and that's amazing. So it's a nice tool that we provide and we love it.
Great. Thank you for that. Now, let's have another go. Another 5 minutes. It's okay, you can introduce yourselves, but try and get as quickly as you can to answering those statements. Another 5 minutes. Let's go. With different people. Here we go. There we go. Darlene, are you having problems joining the breakout room? Gabriella, any issues? Jessica? Jessica? Now I can tell you're getting more warmed up because you're getting more on point with these answers. What did I hear? Valeria said participation in groups is important just when planning an exams class. Why is that, Valeria?
Well, as I said, I'm not directly an English teacher right now. I'm teaching science in English for ESL students.
Yeah.
So as they have to learn the science, which is new to them, the topics, even if I were teaching them in their native language, they are new for them. And as I have to teach them in English, the students need to gain a lot of confidence with the speaking and with the ability to ask their questions. If they're not even understanding the basics and they're not feeling confident enough, they're going to get lost on both things, the English and the science.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Yes, it's interesting to have that perspective as someone who's not an English language teacher, but is moving from a subject like science. So, Alejandro Palma, you said you were amazed by the lack of knowledge of students. What did you mean by that?
Well, I meant some students think just because of the fact they are in this kind of level or course, they know a lot of things. And in conclusion, I think we never stop learning. So the more they see, the more they learn. So that's exactly what I meant.
What? Yeah. Okay, let's have one more turn. But this time I'll make it shorter because you've got faster at introducing yourself and so on. So just a 3-minute session this time, but with different people. There we go. 3 minutes. One more time. Sorry, that was a bit shorter, wasn't it? Necessarily so, because we've got to progress. Irina, you got a little bit caught off, what's the word? Cut off at the end. You were telling us about your students who are preparing for IELTS, right?
Yes, that is a requirement here at Humanitas University. As soon as they finish 8 quarters of English, they can take IELTS Academy. We didn't do that before, talking about the workshops. So we decided like, okay, we're asking them for a good grade on IELTS, but are we offering like the tools to prepare for IELTS? So that's why we and me and a couple of my professors that are here are very interested in this course.
Oh, good. So, yeah. So this course has a focus on IELTS, doesn't it? Yeah, it's rather than being a general sort of Cambridge English preparation course to train you for Cambridge exams, not so much, right? It's more focused on IELTS. And so let's just give you a quick overview of the course. So it's kind of split into two. Some of the work you'll be doing here in the Zoom live, right? Some of the work you will be doing on the what we call the asynchronous, or like the Neo platform. Now it's a learning management system, it's called an LMS. Okay, well, there'll be more about that very shortly. And you can see that on this platform, we will do these 3 things: exam analysis, exam parts analysis, contrastive analysis. And on the right, on the Zoom, we'll be looking more on exam strategies and developing skills for students, so they'll be able to take the exams more and perform better. Now, on the platform, there are different sections. We'll be doing M5, Module 5, IELTS in these next few weeks. Right. And we'll have some sections. Today is introduction mainly. Next week is reading, listening, writing, and speaking and closure. So that's the order in which we will be doing our live sessions in Zoom. Any questions so far? Dudas, preguntas. Now, if you've got any worries or concerns that you'd like to express, you don't have to you shouldn't feel that you can only express them in English, eh? So we're not here mainly it's not really to develop your English skills. It's more about how to teach, how to train students for the IELTS exam. So really, if you've got any doubts or questions, please ask them in any way that you see fit or appropriate. Yeah, no one will judge you if you feel that you need to ask a question in Spanish, for example.
Yeah, but I was wondering, we are going to be taking the presence courses, of course, but the new platform, is that something that we have to do on parallel?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll just explain that very briefly. In fact, I'll just jump forward before we look at the platform. So this week is your 2-hour session to welcome teachers and see how the course works. Now, and then in week 2, you will be doing self-study online on the platform. Yeah, between these 2 dates, between the 5th and the 24th, right? And that should take you about 3 hours to do that. Then on the 25th of November, you've got a 2-hour session with the tutor, and that's going to focus on the reading paper. There's an alternation, as you quite rightly mentioned. So there's on week 4, 26th of November to 8th of December, 3-hour self-study, listening skills. On the 9th, we have a live session again, this time to do with the listening paper. Week 6, writing skills. And then after studying online, you've got live session. 8 and 9 is vocabulary, lexical range, and speaking. So these are going to help each other. They're kind of complementary. That's why we have them together. And week 10, 2 hours speaking interview. How to prepare students. For some students, it's the scariest part of the course, right? It's like for the scariest part of the exam is taking the oral test. And then there will be a self-study online. And the final Zoom session is on the 24th of February. Any queries so far?
No, so far. Everything okay.
Any doubts? So should we have a look at the Neo platform? So I'd like you to please go to the platform and log in and explore the platform briefly. Oh, Gabriella says, will this course help me if I'm the one taking the IELTS? It's an interesting question. It might actually, yeah. I mean, taking the test might be a good way to help students prepare for it. So you could see it that way, couldn't you? Gabriella, what do you think?
Hi, absolutely. It is that when I saw the course, I thought that it was my misconception that it was to prepare ourselves for the test. But now that I got in the meeting, now I see that it's for helping your students to prepare them for any certification, maybe, or maybe in this case, the IELTS or another Cambridge test.
That's right. But if you see it from the point of view of being a student, doing the test can help you because, I mean, my wife has taken all the big Cambridge exams, the first certificate, the advanced and the proficiency. And taking them, I mean, it does help you to train students, doesn't it? Because then you know what the content is in a very intimate way.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yes.
Right. That's great.
Thank you.
Nice. So let's go and have a look at the platform, shall we? Now, if you've got a Google account, you can use the red button here to log in. Okay, but otherwise, if you've not, you just go into, there you go. And now I'm assuming that you've already received your invitation from Rosie. Yes. So Gemma is saying, where can I get my ID and password? Well, you have to create it yourself. Yeah. So have a look in your email. Okay, I got mine sent on Saturday. So have a look in your email box and you should get an invitation. You should see an invitation from Rosie. All right. Has anyone not received such an invitation? Alejandro Palma said, I didn't receive an invitation. Okay.
I haven't received an invitation either.
Okay. Well,
That's-
I think maybe the best thing would be to send an email to Rosie. Let me see if I can find her email. Rosie. Rosie Elsman. Here we are.
Hey, sorry, I did refresh my browser and it is shown now, the invitation.
Oh, it is. Rosie Elsman. But for anyone, I mean, it's possible that there's been a mistake and somehow you haven't got the invitation. So I'll send you the email. Here's the email for Rosie. Okay. Once you've got the invitation, you have to create the password and the ID yourself. It's not something we can do for you. You have to do the password thing. So this is what happens. You go in. Okay, so this is what it looks like. The first module is IELTS Exam Introduction. Gemma says, I'm already in, but the user wasn't found. So one way I can do this is to check who's managed to sign up. So these are the active people. Yeah, Norma, it will look a bit different because I'm a trainer and you're a student. So, however, you should be able to see the introductory module. So Jackie is accepted. Millie has. Victor, Luis, Beatrice, Perla, Darlene, Carla. Carla, Maria, and Gemma. I can send you the invitation again, but this is the email it's going to, you see. Gemma, it's going to your Grupo Escolar Simón Bolívar.
Yeah, that's the one I'm using, but
Ah.
it says that user wasn't found.
Ah. Have you checked in the spam? Do you have a spam box?
No, I mean I already got the email, but once that I got when I try login, and I use that email that I can see on the screen, it says that the user wasn't found.
Ah, strange.
Mm.
Gemma. I'll make a note of that and tell Rosie about it.
Thank you. It happened the same last year. I don't know why.
User wasn't found. It could be the server that you have at Simón Bolívar. Maybe it rejects it somehow.
Maybe, yeah.
How about I resend it anyway and see what happens?
Okay, thank you.
There you go. And Abril, I will send yours again. Carla, David.
I'm here with Norma.
Okay. So David, it was sent today at 11:39. So if you look in your email, you should be able to see it.
I do have it. I'm just like, I'm having trouble with my device. I can do it later, right?
Okay, yeah.
I'll be doing it later.
The rest I will resend just to see if that works.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm already in. I'm seeing the introduction, the assignment lessons.
Oh, great. Could you screen share to show us?
Yeah, give me a minute.
I need to make you co-host to do that, I think, but there you go. Show the rest of us what you can see.
Hold on, I'm trying to find the share. Sorry, it says that I can share, but it's not letting me. It's just telling me that I'm able to share, but I can't. Won't let me.
Okay. Is anyone else able to want to share their screen? Show us what it looks like once you're inside. Oh, there it is. That's it. Yeah. So you need to do the number 1 IELTS exam, and then after today's session, what do you need to do, guys?
go to the reading section. I mean, reading paper.
Yeah,
Reading
that's
paper,
it. Yeah,
and
do
check.
number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to do that between now and the 25th
Okay.
of November. November 25, you've got to have it done by then. Yeah, so you're prepared for the next session. That makes sense?
Sure.
Yes.
So have a look at what you have to do for reading. Have a skim through. Explore. Give you a few minutes to have a look, guys.
Andrew, I'm at the part where it says, what's the IELTS like? And there's a quiz. Do we have to take the quiz
Oh, yes.
right now?
Not right now, no, because this is I'm just encouraging you to explore,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh, okay.
But the idea is that you do them in
order.
chronology, yeah?
Yeah.
So from 1 to 7. But yeah, so don't jump ahead too much because it might get confusing. Just try to work on things as they appear in order.
Okay.
And don't forget you've got this scheme of work to guide you. So here's the scheme of work again. Maybe you could even print that off, have it in front of you. Any doubts or queries so far? No question is too dumb, stupid, yeah? Just ask. Don't be afraid to ask because maybe it's so obvious that no one has thought of it. Okay, well, if there's no more questions about the platform, we'll move on. So let's talk about course expectations. Okay, so one expectation is that you can take your own time to study, which is true, but you'll manage your own study time, but try, there's a mistake there. Try not to leave it to the end. Some people leave the asynchronous study till like just right before the next Zoom session. But it's probably better if you divide the time up. Some people seem to think that it's best to start at the beginning of the week. So try and do a little bit each day. And it's true that we have Zoom session every 2 weeks, right? But each section is going to take about 5 or 6 hours, including the 2 hours that will be here. So you'll have 2 hours here in Zoom and then another 3 hours. Yeah. Each section. Any other questions? Well, oh, you need to attend 5 sessions to get your diploma, right? And you will get a certificate from IH at the end, right? But you need to attend 5 sessions, and we're taking attendance, all right? So 5 sessions to get the diploma. Ideally 6, because there are 6 live sessions. So try and attend as many as you can. Be focused on the material for the exam you're teaching. During the live session, I'm not insisting on it right now, but it's going to be really helpful if you could put on your cameras, yeah, but have the microphones off. Because it makes it easier for us as trainers to see your faces, yeah. So cameras on, microphones off during the session until we tell you that you can put on your microphone, yeah. Yeah, Gabriela Martinez is saying, thanks for you're taking attendance. I got in with my other name, Beatrice Gabriela. Okay. Yeah. Probably a good idea if you use your full name then in your when you put your names. All right. Any other questions at this point?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
When it's like I already format, I know how IELTS works. I was just like I have some questions regarding different aspects of the exam, such as you know, when you book online exams, what is the process for the validation of your space? I mean, I have like 3 or 4 questions. I don't want to throw them all at you right now, but I was just like wondering. I want to check what you give us, the program, etc. But I don't know if it's best to just like leave them for the maybe the last session. Would that be okay?
Sure. Are your questions about this course?
Yes, I would assume so. I mean, it's about the certificate.
Okay. What your question is, what does the certificate look like and what use does it have?
No. It's more like, for example, when you book the IELTS, you know, there are two versions.
Okay.
In the speaking.
Yeah. Well, that's
These
something we're going
cards
to.
that they show them.
Yeah. I see. Yeah. Well, we will have a little bit of time
Okay.
today. Maybe half an hour at the end. We'll look at the general IELTS requirements and stuff. Okay.
All right. That's what my question was. Thank you.
And is your name Norma?
No, I'm with Norma. My name is David. David Castro.
Oh, David Castro. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So.
Yeah, because of the internet. That's why I'm
Okay.
with her.
Okay. But
Thank you.
so there's two of you there together, right? Norma Rodriguez.
Yes. There's two of us. Norma.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good. It would be useful if you could put both of your names there, yeah?
We'll do so right now.
Where it says rename, yeah? Good. Now, let's move on. If there are no further questions right now, on to reflection. Okay. I'd like you to talk briefly about who are your learners, and actually think about the answers to these questions and note them down somewhere. Right, so get out a little notebook. I'll give you a couple minutes note to jot down some ideas. Who are your learners? Are they different from others you've had in the past? What are their learning styles and preferences? And what type of activities do they like? So specifically your exam learners, right? The ones that you're training. Do you know anything about them? Maybe you haven't even started. Maybe you even haven't started training.
I haven't.
Learners yet. All right. So maybe that's something you could ask the other people in your group, right? So you could say, okay, who typically takes IELTS? Right? What is the average IELTS candidate like? What are their expectations? Right? Norma and David, adelante. What's your question?
I'm Norma now. Well, I give this score to my students the last scholar year. So for them, it was just a little difficult because I teach these students that are low level of English. So for them, it was difficult. So the most difficult part were the writing and the listening part, because the two first parts of listening, obviously the listening are just a little okay, but the rest of the listening obviously was super quick, and the vocabulary obviously were completely different. So they said, "Oh, teacher, I couldn't understand. It was super fast. Could you please repeat again?" And obviously in IELTS, it's only one time, not like first certificate that you repeat twice. So for them, it's completely different.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for talking about the problems there. So I'd like you to work very briefly in breakout rooms for about let's see, 4 minutes will do. And I'd like you to share your experiences if you have them. If you don't have experience, well, listen to what the others say. Okay, let's do it quickly. So some very varied responses. I heard one teacher saying that she taught IELTS many years before, but wants to update. One teacher saying never taught IELTS, but wants to expand their, what's the word, professional development into this area. Let's have another turn with a different set of people. Give you slightly more time because 3 minutes was a bit short, wasn't it?
Well, in my case, hi, it's my
Hi.
first time. This is the
Yeah.
first time that I'm preparing learners to present IELTS, and it is because they need it. They are going to study abroad, they're going to Canada, so they really depend on the result of this exam, and sometimes I feel kind of stressed because I really want them to pass the exam. And related to this comment, I do have a question about the IELTS. Like, what does each band mean? Like, why do you have to, it has 9 bands and then you have to pass 7 of them?
Right, that's a very relevant question. I'm going to note that down.
Right. Okay.
Because we'll deal with it shortly. So, what does each band mean is the question, right?
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. What's the time now? We've only got 50 minutes left, haven't we? Okay, let's have another go. Uh, but this time, let's ask these questions. Let's think about what our students' needs are. Do you know what your students' weakest skills are? How do you know? What have you done to help them? Can you think of anything else you could do? Put that into the chat. So, regarding exam taking skills, are they particularly weak at speaking? Is it listening practice they need more of? Do they need to develop their vocabulary range? Okay, so have a quick chat with your group members. Here we go. 4 minutes. Great. Well, I didn't manage to see all of you in your rooms, but I heard from was it Bernardo? He mentioned listening was problematic. And he quite rightly pointed out that on the IELTS listening, they have to hear different accents, don't they? Yeah, or different speeds, and they only get one time to hear. Right, like on some Cambridge exams, they get listening, they play it twice, but it's only played once on the IELTS listening. Abril mentioned writing. And she mentioned things like issues with spelling. And for me, yeah, writing is one of the most difficult skills to do in a foreign language because it requires so much cultural knowledge, doesn't it? And knowledge of how to organize a text and be able to make your ideas flow in a logical way. And that's difficult to do in a foreign language. Any other issues that you think your students are weak at?
Well, personally, I believe that the hardest part for them is the reading and the writing. But when you think about it, most of our teachers, what they do is translate, even though they are bilingual, quoting.
Sure.
It's because they translate from Spanish to English. So they're not thinking always in English. So this is something that they tend to do. And it's a really hard habit to take away.
And how does that affect the students then? In terms of the skills of reading, writing, listening, speaking?
Well, first of all, they have to really think in English. Then that is something that they are not used to, so it's hard for them. Second, when they read, it's difficult because of the vocabulary, especially when it's literature, right? The vocabulary that it's used is not the common vocabulary. And then the writing is just that they have lost this skill because of all this AI that they have in hand. So they really fight writing. So we are going back to basics in this part. We are having them to, do the writing by hand writing.
Yeah.
And leave the computers on the side because otherwise it's all chat GPT and they really don't think about the structure and what you said, the logic on what they want to say and how to build it in order for it to make sense. So we are going back to basics in this part, at least in, when the writing part comes.
Thank you for that, Cynthia. Any other weak skills?
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Andrew.
Yeah.
I think that for my students, even if I haven't prepared them for IELTS, it will be the first time. But I think that it is the speaking part is one of the hardest also for them. I think that sometimes it's the lack of vocabulary that they know what they want to express, but they don't know which vocabulary is correct to express it, I think.
Yes. Yes, and sometimes they carry over vocabulary from Spanish. Someone mentioned, thinking in Spanish, and then they use words like in my career at the university, when they mean the degree at the university.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Typical mistake. Okay, good. Now, I'm aware we've only got about 40 minutes left, so I think we should cut to the chase and go to have a look at an overview of the IELTS exam, so that might answer some of the questions that were raised earlier. Okay. So let's have a look. Now, the materials we're using are based on material provided to us by one of the main suppliers of IELTS, which is called IDP, right? And IDP is based in Australia, and the other one is the British Council, which is obviously more UK based. But these are the two main providers. So IH uses IDP. No. So these here are the aims. And this masterclass we're talking about here was actually designed for students. So we're kind of adapting it so that you can see what information the students are getting, right? Now this masterclass was designed for students who are aiming for band 6 or above, and I don't know if you know this, but most candidates in Mexico get a band 6, right? It's kind of like the average score, and you can check that out online and it tells you, yeah, that the average, like the mean grade, is between 6 and 6.5 in Mexico, which is like upper intermediate. I know, it's pretty good actually. Yeah, but some students are going to need higher, like 7 or even 7.5 to do more advanced, like postgraduate work, right? So some students are going to need higher than that. Beatrice says, what is the highest band you can get? Does anyone know? It's the highest band you can get in IELTS.
It's a 9.
It's a 9, yes. That's right. So it's a good idea to have this masterclass handout available, well, on your computer, so you can like check the basic information about IELTS. It's kind of the general stuff. So moving on. So when you're preparing your students for the IELTS exam, stress that learning English is a slow, long-term process. Yeah. And to improve your English, you need to use English in everyday contexts. Speak it with your friends, write notes in emails in English, read English language newspapers, listen to English radio and television, which is a lot easier than it used to be. And emphasize that they need to do more than practice taking sample tests. They will help you to learn what is expected in each part of the test. And it's good test preparation to maximize the English skills you have. However, you need to have a sound foundation of the English language to build on. IELTS preparation won't necessarily improve your English language skills, but it will help you know what to expect and what to do in each part of the test. mention that each component of the IELTS test has different types of questions that require particular skills to answer. This is one of the reasons why IELTS is well respected as a valid test of English proficiency. So as with any test, examiners are looking for particular skills. And here is an analogy with the driving test. The driver has to demonstrate certain skills like turning left, turning right, doing a 3-point turn, reversing, a hill start, emergency stop, right? So speaking skills has what we call sub-skills. Reading has sub-skills. And overall, these contribute to your proficiency. So in speaking, the examiner is assessing how well you perform in each part of the test. So in part 1, you talk about yourself. In part 2, you present a short talk. And in part 3, you're taking part in a discussion. And identify common mistakes you can avoid. When I say common mistakes, I don't just mean errors in spelling and grammar. I mean more serious mistakes resulting from a lack of knowledge of the skills which are being tested. Skills like not using the correct reading skill for different types of reading questions, or not listening out for synonyms in the listening paper. So, someone asked about academic or general training. Very relevant question. So in this session, this part, we're going to focus on the 2 types of IELTS test delivered. Now, if you're taking the test to enter the workplace in Australia, Canada, or another country, what do you have to take? The general training or academic? If you want to go in the workplace in Canada, Australia, UK, is it general training or academic?
It could be academic. I don't know.
If you want to work in those countries, is it academic or general training? Alejandro?
I'm not pretty sure, but I guess general training would be the best option. I mean, if you're
That's
going
right.
just for working, yeah.
Yeah, if it's working, yes. So for example, if you want to work in a hotel in Canada, you would go for general training. What if you wanted to apply for a university in Australia? Would that be academic or general training?
I think it's the academic.
Yeah, that's right. So, step 1, the version of IELTS you take and the score you need will depend on your visa requirements and the requirements of the institution at which you plan to study or your employer or profession. Right? So you've got to find out, get the students to do a bit of research, yeah? Step 2. If your degree is in a discipline such as IT or engineering, which has placed more emphasis on your numerical skills than your literacy skills, you may find that the GT, the general training version, is a better way to demonstrate your English language skills. So if you're more of a numbers person, GT could be. Step 3. When taking IELTS for migration purposes, you do have this unique choice. The difference between the two versions of IELTS lies in the subject matter and the different skills required for each version. So maybe migration would be more, if you're thinking of migrating to another country, general training could be better. Academic is normally related to universities. Now, this is the Australian format. It can differs only slightly in different parts of the world. So here are the times. The 4 skills that are assessed in the IELTS test: writing, reading, listening, and speaking. What's special about IELTS is that you can choose to test these skills in academic or general training. Both tests are similar in structure. The topics in each are quite different, however. Academic test features questions and tasks like you would find in a university environment. The general test features topics that are derived from daily life situations. The tests are equal in difficulty, however, but you may prefer one set of topics over the other. The choice is yours. It's the student taking the test. Now, what happens if you're taking it on a computer? Did you know you can take IELTS on a computer?
Yes.
What happens with the computer IELTS is that you have to enter your answers on the screen while the audio is playing. You will then have 2 minutes at the end of the test to check that you have entered all of your answers. Now, if you're doing paper-based, you have 10 minutes at the end to transfer the answers to the answer sheet. In computer-delivered IELTS, it's the test section order is listening, reading, writing, speaking.
Andrew, could you please go back to the other slide
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Any questions so far? Okay.
No questions.
No questions, thanks.
So it's one test delivered 3 ways. Which of these do you get the answers quickest? If you want your results really quick, less than a week, is it a good idea to do IELTS on paper?
No, it's not a good idea. It's better to do it online or on computer.
Yeah. All right. So that's the overview of IELTS. Now, obviously, next session, you're going to have a detailed look at reading skills and the reading paper. Yeah, so please don't forget that you need to be doing the online work on that. But I think what will be good if we just have a quick review of what you understand by reading skills. So I think it would be useful to have some like terminology, wouldn't it? I don't know if any of you have done TKT before. But having the TKT glossary open can be useful because when you're considering skills, because a lot of this terminology is kind of what Cambridge uses, and it appears as skills that they test on the exam. So I'm going to give you a little task to do in groups, and just to see what you know about some of these terms. I'm going to have you see if this works. It might not even work properly, but let's have a look. So when we're teaching reading skills, we often use terms like scanning for specific information, skimming for gist, reading for detail, extensive reading, cohesion, schemata, coherence, genre, and intensive reading. Okay. So I'd like you to try to match the yellow with the blue. I'm gonna put you into 4 groups. So group A is all the people from Riviera Maya.
And I just sent a World Wall link that I made for the TKT, and it's
Yeah.
the reading skills.
Oh,
But
excellent.
it's
Thank you
like a
very
little bit
much.
more extensive, so I don't know if that will work too.
Let's have a look. Thank you. Yeah, that might be useful. Yeah. No, that's very useful. Thank you. Yeah. Why don't we do this more basic one first, and then we could do the word wall. But thank you, Laura. It's great. So if you're Riviera Maya, I'd like you to work on this first slide, Group A. If you're Chihuahua, the second slide. If you're in CDMX, Mexico City, and if you are Querétaro, 4th slide here. And I think that's it. Those are the 4 geographical areas we're working with. So what you have to do is just kind of match. So cohesion. What would you say is the sort of definition here or example? Any ideas? An example of a cohesive device or connective is but,
It has to
and,
do
or
with the
because.
use of connectors.
So
Uh-huh.
it is connections between ideas within a text.
No, that would
That's correct.
be the other C. So this would be links between sentences. Yeah, or actually, or within sentences, I should say. Links between or within sentences. Yeah. So, going to give you access to this. It's like a Jamboard. Yeah. See if you can actually match them. There it is. I'm not going to put you into breakout rooms. You can do it open class, but please try to click on the link. And try to do the matching, please. You have to click on the sticky with the pointer and then move it.
I have a problem. I'm not sure how to move the boxes. I've been trying.
All right.
I guess that
I
you have
think
to
that
log in with your
yeah,
Google account.
Yeah, you have to log in, I think, yeah.
yes, you have to, otherwise you cannot move the boxes.
All right, let's check the answers. Oh, you did pretty good, guys. Yeah, Chihuahua, you did great there. Well done. Felicidades, Chihuahua. Those are all correct. Reading for detail, yeah, love letter. You get a letter from your loved one and you read every single word, right? Very closely. Yeah, genre is different types of texts and how they're organized. Yeah. Sometimes people confuse reading for detail with intensive reading, right? But intensive reading, properly understood, is not really a reading skill. It's more like getting the students to focus on language within the text. Well, skimming for gist, not gist, but gist, yeah? Getting the general idea. Those are all correct. So, no, using the text to focus on grammar would be the language learning activity. So, sometimes we say to students, read the text and put PC next to the underlined structures. Yeah, because they're present continuous. Underline the and put a PS if it's present simple. Right? So that would be intensive reading. Knowledge of the world is schemata. Sometimes known as background knowledge. Love letter, you read for detail. Skimming is like looking over a text very quickly, making use of the title, maybe the pictures, to get a general idea of what it's about. Okay, great. So, would you like to do a gist reading activity? All right. I think we've got a few minutes to do it. Still. Now, going to give you a Google form with a text embedded in it. And you've guessed it, the text is about reading and listening skills, right? What we call receptive skills. Okay, well, how many headings can you see? How many headings have been removed from this? I can see 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 sections of this text, and you've got to, well, it's divided into 4 paragraphs, and you have to find the right subheading for each one. Right? And this looks like an exam type task, doesn't it? Okay, so I'm going to give you literally 2 minutes to skim the text for gist. Here's the link into the chat. Give me the thumbs up to confirm you have it. Thank you. So I'll give you 2 minutes, starting now. You have to read quickly. Are you going to focus on individual words, or are you going to try to match the subheadings to the paragraphs, Patricia? How much time do you have? 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Now, remember, this is gist reading. You've got to do it quickly to get a general understanding. This is what you need to do with your IELTS students, right? Encourage them to read quickly for a general understanding before they read a second time. So, please press submit. You see the purple button there? And let's check the answers. I've got 13 responses. Okay, so 50% of us said the answer A is language skills. 46%. That is in fact the right answer. Yeah, for section 1. (46.7% of us), not quite a majority, but most of us, many of us, said it's the nature of text is paragraph B. Good job. That's correct. Text types is the right answer for paragraph C. Yeah. 26%, wow, nearly 27%. If I've got that right. And then D, tips for teachers. No, the answer actually here is receptive skills lessons. 19%. So what do you think? Do you think that the subheadings were a good summary of each section of the text?
It was kind of tricky.
Tricky, yeah? Okay, well, now next time we'll read this again and I'll give you a reading for detail task to do with it. Okay? Unless you'd like to do it as homework. It's up to you. But I think you've got enough to do on the platform. So let's leave it there. And I'll give you a copy of this text next time when we look at reading skills, just to give you a taster for next time. All right. So we're just about finished for today. Have we covered what we needed to cover? Do you have any final questions?
No questions, thank you.
I think we're just about covered the main stuff. Didn't really do the self-diagnosis. We didn't have time for that, but I think we did the main important stuff. With that, I think we can finish. I hope to see you in 2 weeks. Enjoy your work on the platform.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Weeks.
All right, see you in the next
Before I
session.
go,
Have
do
a
we have
nice one.
time
Bye-bye.
limits
Sorry?
on the platform? Or do we have like time limits on the platform to perform the activities?
No, we just request that you try and do them before the next live session.
Okay, thank you very
Yeah.
much then. Have a nice day.
Yeah, you should be able to do it. It's 3 hours, yeah, required.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. See you next session.
See you next session.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much. See you in the next session.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Bye.